Hello guys, I am back for more minigame coaster. We left off at World 2-5, which is Speed Hockey. Speed Hockey can actually be quite difficult if you're not careful. When the Koopa shell puck really gets moving, it moves. It really does move. And then it'll also do some weird little bumps against the walls. Sometimes it may even go in when you're actually blocking it in a very good position because it's so fast. It's a very difficult minigame, but it only took me one attempt, so hooray for that. I got kind of lucky right there. And yeah, just kind of a difficult minigame, but not too bad. Cake Factory is definitely the hardest of the 2 versus 2. And that completes World 2, so we're going to go move on to World 3 now, 1 versus 3s. The majority of the 1 versus 3s for this next area are games where you are the 1 player. For some of the later worlds, and I actually like that they did that, so it's not just always the 1 player, but for the later worlds, they actually make you part of the team of 3. For games like Move to the Music, where you actually have to do something instead of just make up a dance pattern, and also for Shock, Drop, or Roll, where you have to actually try to stay on the cylinder instead of actually move the little lever. So I am actually kind of glad they did that for this game. Because in the original Mario Party, you were always the 1 player, whether it was easy or not. So yeah, but they did definitely change that for this game, and I am actually kind of glad they did that. Crane game, not very difficult. Just a matter of really pressing the A button when you pick up something. Definitely try to get some of the watches first, just so you have enough time. I really don't know if it's faster to get some players then go for the watches, but I'd say that probably going for the watches first is probably a good idea because you might end up missing a player, and then you might actually run out of time, or you might drop the watch, because those watches can actually drop pretty easily. So just be very careful, be very smart about this game, don't make any risky moves. It's a very simple game, don't try to risk it. It's not that hard. But yes, that was World 3-1, not very difficult. And as you can see, I'm already up to a 10 coin multiplier. That's something else I forgot to mention, but I'll talk about in a minute, because 3-2 is Look Away. We know what this game is, but it took me 5 attempts. You are the 1 player in this game, so you have to get the other 3 players out, which is actually pretty difficult. I actually had a lot of trouble with this. I have no idea why. When I was younger, I definitely did not have that much of a problem with this game, but it is actually pretty difficult. This is definitely the 1 versus 3 game that took me the most attempts, which is kind of surprising when you look at some of the later mini-games we have to do. But, okay, I was lucky enough to get Peach there, and now all that's left is Donkey Kong. And I got him, so yeah. It took me 5 attempts, but I did manage to do it. I did lose my coin multiplier. I did lose a few lives, but nothing too major, I guess. Anyways, as I was saying, the coin multiplier. As you go through the game and you clear mini-games consecutively without losing any lives, you'll get a coin multiplier. When you clear 2 games in a row, you get a 20 coin multiplier, or no, it's just 2 multiplier, I'm sorry. But, like, usually it's worth 20 coins. And then you'll get a 3, 4, and then once you get up to 10, that's essentially you're getting a free life every minigame, which is very helpful. There is a long strand of minigames where you can get a bunch of free lives, especially when you get to World 5 and World 4. Those worlds aren't that hard, and World 6 is pretty easy too. Sorry I didn't mention that, but that was Archer Rival. Pretty self-explanatory. For tips for that game, just wait for the computer players to run into the non-computer player targets, because they'll get stuck there for like 2 seconds, and you can easily take advantage of them through that. 3-4 is bowl over. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Make sure you try to hit 2 computer players on your first roll, so you only have to worry about 1 for your next roll. And thankfully, you just have to get all the computer players. You don't have to get all the pins. Although I think getting all the pins would have been a fine challenge. It also, since some of the coins have, or some of the pins have coins in them, you can get a little bit of extra coins here. So I got 12 coins. With the 3 multiplier, that's 36. But if you got all of them, you'd probably get around like maybe 15 or something. I don't know for sure. But that finishes World 3, and now we're off to World 4, the second strand of 4-player minigames. I'm actually surprised about this first one. The first one is Toad in a Box, or Toad in the Box. It only took me 1 attempt, and that surprises me because this is probably one of the only minigames in the entire coaster that's kind of luck-based. Just a little bit, though. For the first 4 blocks, you can generally try to get Toad on your first try, just by the process of good timing. But for the last Toad, you actually have to be right on. Like, you have to pretty much have to guess right here. And yeah, it took me like 2 or 3 block smashes before I actually got Toad. But I did manage to get Toad and get to step 5 and win the minigame. But yeah, that last Toad block, that can be very tricky. I'd go as far to say that that might even be luck-based, almost. Okay, World 4-2 is Tipsy Tournament. Nothing I can really say about this game. I try to get as many inside squares as you can during your sweep around the board, because those inside squares can be a pain, plain and simple. I had a lot of trouble with those inside squares during my playthrough, like, not like during this playthrough of the coaster, but through the board playthroughs in general. I had some problems where I was finishing just like 1 second short of the computer player, but it's really not that hard. Very self-explanatory. Just try to get as many inside squares as possible, and then you just sweep around the edges, and then you should be able to win pretty easily. World 4-3 is Totem Pole Pound. Pretty easy. Make sure you get the most height as you can in your jumps before you pound, because you can finish this game in 5 pounds, and that's the lowest amount you can finish this game in. And the computer players will usually just try to get as much as they can without going the highest, because they're not getting the full benefit of their jumps. DK is actually trying to win now, but he was unable to catch me there. And once again, I win and get my 6 coin multiplier. Next game is Dizzy Dancing. Again, pretty self-explanatory. A lot of these games are pretty self-explanatory, so I should probably stop saying that, but I don't know. I'm amazed at how many easy minigames there were right here. It wouldn't have been too bad if they threw in a few of the harder ones. But for this one, all I have to do is reach the middle of the record and get the music note. I actually managed to get that pretty damn quickly, so hooray for me. And the final minigame of World 4 is, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, Shellshocked. Which is, I'm actually kind of surprised this minigame is right here. For me, in my experience of doing this minigame on hard mode, I actually had to do this twice, because the computer players got some very cheap moves in. 2 of them kind of aimed for me right off the bat, and yeah, I just kind of got screwed. But I did manage to win it this time, and I actually like what happened right there. Me and Yoshi just kept matching each other with our blasts, which was kind of funny. But yeah, that's Shellshocked. Not a very hard minigame. Just make sure you get rid of some of the computer players as soon as possible, and hope that you don't get caught in their return fire. And that about does it for World 4. Join us next time when we go to World 5. So this is SlimKirby. See you guys next time.